A storm of motion hits you the moment you twist the throttle. Beneath that sculpted fairing, the beast pulses, and before you know it, the world behind you dissolves. That's the moment when the new Suzuki Hayabusa 2026 surges, and you feel something more than speed, you feel legacy reborn. For decades, the Hayabusa name has meant runaway velocity, aerodynamic mastery, and raw emotion. In 2026, Suzuki didn't just revive the legend, they rewrote it. What you're about to experience is not just a superbike, but a machine tuned to thrill the senses, sharpen the edge, and redefine what you think is possible on two wheels. But what exactly has changed? How did Suzuki transform the legend while keeping its soul intact? The answer lies in the engine, the aerodynamics, the electronics, and the feeling of riding like you're holding tomorrow in your hands. Section 1. The heart of the beast, engine and performance. At the core of the new Hayabusa is still the mighty 1340cc inline-4 engine, but what's changed is everything around it. Engineers went deep to refine, balance, and perfect. On previous models, the Hayabusa chased headline numbers and wild peak power. For 2026, the focus wasn't just how fast, but how right. Upgraded flow channels, redesigned pistons and valves, finer lubrication, everything engineered to deliver a smoothed-out surge instead of a wild spike. That means quicker throttle response, better mid-range torque, and a ride that feels alive from the moment you roll off. Speed still matters, but timing and delivery matter more. The bike's not just fast, it's expressive. And because of that, riding it feels less like wrestling a beast and more like partnering with one. And for everything you'll feel now, there's an even more dramatic shift in the way the machine moves through air, which we'll explore next. Aerodynamics and chassis. In the world of high-speed bikes, how you slice through the air matters as much as how hard you accelerate. The 2026 Hayabusa retains that long, lean silhouette the model is known for, but Suzuki refined it. Wind tunnel tweaks, sharper sculpting, enhanced downforce at high speed. The twin-spar aluminum frame carries over, but with subtle refinements to increase rigidity and improve handling. Suspension components, inverted front forks, linked rear suspension have been retuned to balance track aggression and highway composure. When you're accelerating on a straightaway and the front wheel wants to lift, or into a fast bend and the rear wants to slide, this machine handles it differently. It's less about brute force, more about control. And that implies you can exploit the power more confidently, but refining the chassis and aerodynamics is only part of the story. In the age of electronics, the new Hayabusa has taken a quantum leap forward. Next-gen electronics. If you thought the previous Hayabusa was advanced, you haven't seen what comes next. Suzuki has introduced a full suite of rider aids built around a 6-axis inertial measurement unit. Lean-sensitive traction control, corner ABS, engine brake control, multiple power modes, launch control, and a bidirectional quick shifter, all wrapped into one system. In simple terms, the bike knows what it's doing and helps you do it better. The display, sleek, modern, possibly full-color TFT with smartphone connectivity and advanced data readouts. Suddenly, you're not just riding, you're interacting with a machine that knows you're riding. This tech doesn't take over, it improves the ride, gives you confidence, handles some of the variables that used to be left entirely to you. And when you combine that with the raw heart and refined chassis, it starts to feel like something more than a motorcycle. But how far has the legacy been pushed? The next section dives into how the Hayabusa name has evolved and what that means.
Legacy and evolution. The name Hayabusa means peregrine in Japanese, a bird built for speed, precision, diving fast through the air. The original GSX 1300R defined hyperbike status in 1999, pushing boundaries of speed, styling, and culture. Many years later, the 2026 model arrives not just as a successor, but as a statement. Legends don't fade, they evolve. By refining rather than simply amplifying, Suzuki has chosen a path of maturation. Sure, there are rumors of turbocharged versions and wild power figures. But here's the thing, the 2026 Hayabusa is less about raw number chasing and more about delivering the full experience. Power, yes, but also poise, technology, comfort, and emotion. The rider who once sat on the older model with adrenaline pumping will still recognize the moment on this one, but they'll also recognize something new. The machine has grown up with them. And because of that, there's a new kind of intensity in the ride, a promise of what's next. Speaking of next, let's jump into how this bike stacks up in the world of rivals, competition, and where it stands. When you build something like the Hayabusa, you're not just going up against machines, you're going up against legends, expectations, and your own history. In the world of speed-obsessed superbikes, names like the Kawasaki Ninja H2, the Ducati Panigale V4S, and the BMW M1000RR loom large. The challenge? Can the 2026 Hayabusa still hold its place? What it does is interesting. Rather than outdoing everyone at the top of the numbers table, it shifts the conversation. It may not claim fastest top speed ever on paper. Instead, it claims fastest feeling ride, best balance of daily and extreme, legendary name, modern capability. And that matters, because for many riders, it's not about 0 to 300 kilometers per hour in record time. It's about the moment when everything clicks. You, the machine, the road. The competition might push harder in charts, but the Hayabusa seeks to connect harder with the rider, and that gives it a different kind of edge. So, what does this machine feel like when you're riding? Let's talk about the experience. You climb aboard, you settle in. In your peripheral vision, the world seems to shrink as you twist the throttle, and then you lean into the first corner. You feel the refined suspension respond, the tires grip, and the wind flow-shaped frame slice through rush hour turbulence. The 2026 Hayabusa doesn't feel like a handful. It feels alive, but sane. It invites you to exploit its power, but it doesn't punish you for enjoying it. What used to require near superhuman effort now becomes accessible, yet it retains raw edge. The emotion of acceleration, the roar of the engine, the silence after you lift off and the speed pulls you forward. It still connects you to the essence of riding. And even when you're not on a racetrack, even when you're commuting, it doesn't pretend to be something else. It stays true. It's the balance of pure joy and refined capability. And that's rare. But as good as the ride is, there's one question left. Is it worth it?
Value, positioning, and what it means. The 2026 Hayabusa isn't cheap, it's premium. But what you're buying isn't just a machine. You're buying heritage, engineering, and emotion. When you consider how much it costs to produce the carbon-coated forks, the data-driven IMU electronics, the wind tunnel sculpted bodywork, the answer starts to make sense. It's not just a bike, it's a statement. A tribute to speed, a link between past and future. A machine built for those who don't just ride, but feel. If you choose this bike, you choose to embrace a certain mindset. Speed matters, but how you ride matters more. The Hayabusa 2026 gives you that. And for riders who understand that, it will still blow your mind. But before we wrap up, let's bring everything together. In a world where more is often considered better, the 2026 Hayabusa teaches a different lesson. Refinement over recklessness, connection over chaos, legend over mere numbers. This is a bike that doesn't scream maximum, it whispers ultimate and invites you in. From its powerful yet balanced engine, through its sculpted aerodynamics, next-gen electronics, heritage-rich framing, and ride experience that blends thrill and control, it stands as a modern icon. So if you ever find yourself climbing aboard and twisting that throttle, you'll feel it, not just the acceleration, but something deeper. The return of a legend, updated for now. The promise of what's next built into every turn, every lean, every heartbeat behind the handlebars. And yes, if you let it, the new Hayabusa 2026 will blow your mind.